Indicators here. All right, top of the morning. It is 7:50 a.m. and we are in potential market manipulation time here. So we kind of hang tight the first minute and last minute of a new 5-minute turn. And man, this sucker's been coming up. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. Bright green is your strongest upside data candle. You have an A+ setup, not only on ES, but on NQ. This is pretty awesome. So let's take a look here. Let me pull this sucker down. All right. And I'm going to wait for the first minute of the new 5-minute turn to shake out. Waiting for this timer to turn white. When this timer turns white, I can get in. Okay. So keep your eye on that timer. We are pushing up pretty good. And a lot of times price likes to move away from where? The strongest zone. Okay. So I'm going to get into 2 contracts here. All right. And now we are in. Okay, so it's a great example of how these indicators can just absolutely bring clarity to the charts. What the Maverick AI Pro is doing is it's coloring your candles like a heat map. Okay, like a heat map of the severity of this buying and selling. Okay, and you can see if you see pink, it will most likely sink. Pink is your strongest downside data candle. Bright green is your strongest upside data candle. Okay, if you see bright, that's why we got these cute little rhymes. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. If you see pink, it will most likely sink. Okay, bright green, right to the upside. Look at this move. Was this last night? Oh, this was yesterday into the close. Look at this. Gray candles, which means reversal or indecision. Red, your second strongest downside data candle, and hot pink, your strongest downside data candle. This is a massive move, 74.56 all the way down. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's over 100-point move, over 400 ticks there. That's incredible. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And we'll probably get a little retracement. You've had multiple green candles in a row. All right, cool. All right, so why are we in this trade? First things first, we got a green background. The bulls are in control, okay? The bulls are in control, all right? So meaning the bulls have been in control per this calculation all the way since 6:20 a.m. It is almost 8 a.m. So you've had green background this entire time, which is so stinking cool. At a glance, I can be like, oh, bulls are in control. I can just see it in the background. Second thing is we have green and bright green candles. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. Bright green is your strongest upside data candle. I can't rewrite history here, okay? All right. So we got a green background. We got bright green candles, okay? We have 2 A+ setups on ES and NQ. ES and NQ usually run together, meaning when ES is coming up like this, you'll hardly ever see NQ going like this, okay? They run together most times than not. So what the Maverick radar is doing is it's going through each indicator, well, multiple of our indicators, not all of them, but it's going through the majority of our indicators and it's grading each one. And it's going to then calculate this overall score. And it's going to say you either have no score, no setup, you have a B setup, or you got an A+ setup, okay, to the upside or the downside. Now, if you have no setup, we just don't even touch our mouse. B setup, ooh, something might be forming. And then A+ setup, yeah, let's go. Now, what's cool is a lot of times, and there's tons of strategies here, but one of the strategies is you can put something like ES and NQ that run together, and you don't get in until you have an A+ setup on both instruments, right? But this is a good this is meant for confirmation, meaning how many times have you gotten into a trade, you get stopped out, you go back and you go, what the heck was I thinking? Let the Maverick radar be your eyes. Let it watch and grade. So if I think I got an A+ setup to the upside, but then the Maverick radar says, no, you don't have a setup, I'm not touching my mouse because there's something I'm missing there, right? Great confirmation tool. Maverick Trender down here has been pegged to the top this entire time, all the way since 710. This sucker has been pegged to the top. This is showing massive strength and momentum. Green to the upside, red to the downside. We call these flat tops. And you can just see when you have a flat top, it really likes to come down. Here's another flat top here, came straight down. Here's a flat top of green, right? What did it do? Went right up, okay? So you'll always see the Maverick Trender on my screen. And then finally, the Maverick Multi-X. This is the guy that started it all, okay? I was having a hard time as a trader looking at 6 charts, trying to read 6 instruments and seeing what all the indicators are doing and reading price action and then trading a whole other chart. Just didn't make any sense to me. So what we did was we came up with the Maverick Multi-X. This is monitoring 6 time frames, okay, 6 time frames, and you can set these time frames to whatever you want. If you like to trade longer time frames, higher time frames, shorter time frames. But this is monitoring 6 time frames. And see T1 through T5. T1 through T5, think of them as traders. They're algorithms, but think of them as traders. And they all have a completely different style. So if I put you in the room with 5 other traders who all have a completely different style, and they all agreed across 6 time frames, yes, we think we're going up. Would that give you confidence to get in to the upside? I mean, it does for me every single day. Every single day I'm looking at this thing going, okay, what are we doing here? And again, sorry, I talk about this in every video. We're stacking probability. Sorry, I haven't had my coffee yet. Probability. Okay, I spelled it right. It's hard enough trading and showing you guys all these indicators and then spelling properly. All right, we're stacking probability. What are we doing? We're saying if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it looks like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? So we're looking at a lot of our indicators going, okay, green background, that's to the upside. Bright green candle, that's your strongest upside data candle. A+ setup, not only on ES, which is what we're trading, but also NQ. And you can see it comes in and out because it calculates per tick. That's okay. Maverick Trender is pegged to the top. You got a beautiful flat top here, and you got your uptrend label down here. You can see that. And then all 5 traders are voting bullish across 6 time frames. 5 unique traders, again, these are algorithms, but 5 unique traders who all have a completely different style are all agreeing, yes, on the 1 minute, we are bullish. Okay, on the 2 minute, we are bullish. On the 3 minute, we are bullish. On the 4 minute, on the 5 minute rather, and so on and so forth. So we're stacking, like I wouldn't go short here, right? Okay, I wouldn't go short here. All the pieces are saying to the upside. So we stack probability in our favor. That's what makes this powerful, this formula powerful. And this is a great example here of how this can show you. Now, gosh, I'm getting in late. I mean, I wish I was in it back here. This wouldn't have been even, this couldn't be more clear. Okay, let me show you the Maverick zones. Finally, Maverick zones. Let's walk through this. And you got a cluster of zones here. Okay, you got a cluster of zones here because it's early in the morning and you don't have that opening volatility where price is just moving all the way around. You have much less volatility, so price is gonna kind of stay in these tunnels, you know, if you will. It's not gonna have this 200 point move to the upside at 7:58 a.m. Okay. Let's talk about the Maverick zones. What it's doing is it's auto-drawing your support and resistance zones. Now, how cool is that? See how this one just appeared? See how this one just appeared? It wasn't there when I first started talking. The Maverick zones, what it's doing is it's doing a calculation to figure out where is your highest probability support and resistance zones. How big should they be? See how fat this one is compared to like this one's kind of skinnier? Okay, because it's running a probability formula on how wide should the zone be. And then as price gets closer to it, it's going to give you this probability score of price holding or breaking. All right, anything less than 90% is game for breaking. Anything greater than 90%, a lot of times, not every time, nothing is every time in the market. A lot of times, this guy is like a brick wall. So if we were coming up here, if price is coming up here, well, let's say this said 92. I wouldn't take a trade into it because this would be like a brick wall, okay? And a lot of times, 200-mile-an-hour sports car hits a brick wall. What does it do? It flattens out like a pancake, or it bounces right off, okay? So we wouldn't mess with that. Now, what do we got going on here? This is a great example. I got into a trade. Everything looks like it's going to the upside, which, it is. Now, two equal zones here, and then you got your weak one in the middle. So what's price going to do? Okay, it's going to stay between these zones until scoring changes and it can break through, okay? So what the advantage of seeing this is that as price is coming down right now, I wouldn't be freaking out because guess what? I'm in between. I know where the zones are. I know why it's coming down. It's going to want to touch here. It may want to touch here. Because the zone is a zone is a zone is a zone. You got orders here, you got orders here. You got to chew through these orders so you can head up to the next zone. Okay, but we are stuck between two zones. All right, so how cool is it? Look at where this candle stopped, right at the bottom of this zone that your Maverick zones auto drew for you. How stinking cool is that? And now, what do you got? Starting to get a confidence arrow to the upside, starting to get back at that bright green candle. We had a green candle the entire time. We had upside data the entire time this was retracing. We had upside data, okay? We had upside data. Easy for you to say without coffee. Upside data. Okay. So again, couldn't be clearer, right? Green background. We have not stopped having a green background, even when it was retracing a little bit. And it stopped totally at the bottom of this zone, okay, that was auto-drawn by the Maverick zones. We've had a green background the entire time. I'm going to add one more, guys, and then I'll call it quits at 3 contracts. Okay, green background, the bulls are in control. Bright green candles. If you see bright green, it might just fly right off your screen. Look, I can't rewrite history. Look at this huge run, right? Okay. You got an A+ setup on ES. You have an A+ setup on NQ, and you get this cool all aligned message up here to let you know, hey bud, like both of these have an A+ setup. What are you doing? You're stacking probability in your favor. All 5 traders are voting bullish across 6 time frames. That's insane. All the way from the 1 minute to the 15 minute, they're all voting bullish across 6 time frames. And I'll just point out, the Maverick trender has not stopped being pegged at the top here. You have had a flat top this entire time, and you've had an uptrend label down here. Okay, so it has not stopped. Now look at that zone score. That's telling. A 96. That is high. This sucker is like a brick wall, and a lot of times price likes to move away from your strongest zone. Okay, your strongest zone it likes to move away from. Okay, now we are getting into manipulation time, potential manipulation time, but we're done adding contracts, and we're just going to watch this thing. Where's your weakest zone? Here. Where's your second weakest zone? Here. Where's your strongest zone? Here. Where does price like to move away from? Your strongest zone. Okay, pretty cool stuff, right? And these are the tools that can bring clarity to your charts, right? Clarity to your charts. Let's take a look at the Maverick Gamma Pro. This is coming out in 3 weeks. This does not replace any of your indicators. We're going to use them together with the Maverick zones for, while you're in the trade and all that stuff. But these are the levels for today. These are the institutional grade levels where market makers have to react. There's no way around it. This is where market makers need to react. These levels land on your charts every single morning. We're sending out 2 emails, the morning brief with the game plan for the day, how to think about each one of these levels. This has been such a game changer. It's crazy. It's crazy cool. So we'll talk about this. I'm not going to go through the gamma levels and why they're so powerful, but we're gonna in-house crunch this data like we are now We built a whole server for this service to crunch these numbers in-house. Hundreds of thousands of calculations every morning, and it's gonna be a game changer for many folks. But these levels played out so good yesterday. It was insane. And I can't wait to show you guys more of this. So this is coming out in about 3 weeks. I'll put the wait list in the description. But we know we got some serious move. We still have plenty of room to the upside. And this is your gamma level. This is where market makers defend this level like nobody's business. So this is not a level you normally just break right through and stuff. But we still have plenty of upside. And again, the market's not even open right now. Do we have news? Let me see here. Do we have news today? Turn off my zone so we can see this. So yeah, so you got news at 8:30, 8:30, 8:30. Yeah, a bunch of 8:30 news. 2 of them are red. So you got core PCE price index, and then you have GDP. So these can definitely affect your charts. And what's cool is the Maverick news indicator for NinjaTrader in the toolkit will actually mark it on your chart. So you're not in this trade and then all of a sudden you get all wicked out and you're like, what the heck just happened? Well, you knew the news was coming up, so you can close out your trade if need be. All right, let's get rid of the news, turn back on our zones, take a sip of coffee. All right, so we got a little ways to go before this next zone. Okay, where does price like to move away from? Your strongest zone. Where's your strongest zone? Right here. Okay. So confidence arrow, confidence arrow, confidence arrow, confidence arrow, confidence arrow. I mean, confidence arrow all the way back here. What a beautiful move up early in the morning. Okay. All right. So let's keep watching this thing. I'm going to leave my chart up. But again, one last thing, I'll just show you one last time. Got a green background, the bulls are in control. Bright green candles, your strongest upside data candle. Got an A+ setup on ES. You have an A+ setup on NQ. Maverick trender has not stopped being pegged all the way since back here. This sucker has been pegged the entire time. You've had this uptrend label. And then all 5 traders have continued to be bullish across 6 time frames. At a glance, you can see 6 time frames and 5 different, again, these are algorithms, but 5 different traders who all have a completely different style. Their votes every single tick. That is crazy powerful. So this is clear vision, folks. This is edge. Okay. I'm going to leave my charts up here. I'll put all the links in the description. All our indicators in the Ultimate Edge bundle work on NinjaTrader and TradingView. My TradingView folks, I use TradingView plenty as well. And come check us out, all right? Not financial advice. Do your own research. Never any guarantees in any market. We know that, of course. MaverickIndicators.com. That's MaverickIndicators.com.